Lou Gervais became a Christ follower in the early 1970s in the midst of the Jesus People movement, Think Jesus Revolution. And he loved to tell the story of Bill, this wild, long-haired jeans and t-shirt with holes, most often barefooted kind of guy. Bill had recently become a Jesus follower while attending a campus Bible study, and near the campus was this very well-dressed, very conservative church. One Sunday, Bill decides to go there. He walks in late, barefooted, t-shirted, more hair than he knew what to do with, and the worship room was packed. Bill starts down the aisle looking for a seat. He's just about to the stage, and finding no empty seats, he just sits down on the floor in the front of the first row. It's almost like everyone gathered is holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. From the back of this church, this gray-haired, elderly man in a tailored suit starts walking towards Bill with a cane. Some are wondering what he's going to do to that college student with his cane, but nobody, not even the pastor, is looking at the pastor. Every eye is eyes on the drama. Everyone's waiting to see what happens. When he got to Bill, the man dropped his cane on the floor and slowly lowered himself to sit next to Bill, at which point the pastor finally spoke. He said, "You know what I'm about to preach, you'll never remember, but what you've just seen, you'll never forget. A vision has no power until it's seen." What will it take for us to be part of a movement that sees the number of Christ followers in Central PA double by 2030? What will it take to serve the next generation, to lift them up as they lead a great move of God amongst their own generation? What will it take for that vision to so grip our hearts that we go all in? What will it take? See, I don't know all that it will take, but I know that vision has no power until it's seen. And I can't help but think of John chapter 1, verse 14, where it says, "So the Word Jesus became human and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness, and we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son." See, if we want the 2030 vision to have power, it needs to be seen. It's not enough to talk about it. More than words, it needs to be seen. And the next initiative, if you've heard those words, that's one of the ways that we're making our 2030 vision seen. If you don't know what our next initiative is, or if you need a reminder, in the first few months of 2024, we outlined our next initiative with these three goals. Number one, we will prioritize the next generation, passionately pursuing the good of the next generation, helping them love Jesus and lead the church into all that God has for us in the decades to come. Number two, we will bless every neighbor in our communities. We'll pray like crazy and grow in generosity. We'll step out in faith and live in God's overflow. We will share Jesus with our hashtag. And number three, we'll prepare in faith for the fulfillment of the 2030 vision. We'll begin to pay off debt and design structures and gather resources and start gatherings that will prepare us for a revival and for a doubling of Christ followers in Central PA. So here are just some of the ways our 2030 vision is being seen through our next initiative in the last year or so. First, we hired a next-gen pastor in Lewistown. The next-gen edition at Harvest Fields is providing a new, amazing space to reach students. There's been an overflowing compassion shown by our church family in Tyrone to those in need, serving meals. They even built a shower and a bathroom so that people who need a place to spend the night can sleep in our space there and shower the next morning. Teams from Calvary, Penns Valley have been prayer walking the community and having gospel conversations at the coffee shop. A next-gen Bible study was started in Calvary, Tyrone that quickly grew to dozens and dozens of people. Calvary Harvest Fields XYM team hosted Unite, UNIGHT, a night of unity, and around 140 kids from a half dozen churches showed up for a night of worship and prayer and sharing together in unity. They're already talking about doing it again. We now have a public coffee common space, free coffee in State College, Lewistown, and Bellefonte, where we're working to start a new gathering. And soon we'll have a third Calvary Kid Care, Harvest Fields, Penns Valley, and Lewistown, reaching families by loving their kids. We've paid off over $500,000 in debt, and if giving continues well, we will finish the addition at Harvest Fields without adding any debt. God has given us amazing favor with Penn State University students as hundreds come every weekend. And it seems like every time I turn around, someone who is praying for their hashtag and taking seriously their front yard mission is telling me another story of neighborhood grace. One of the initiatives that's still in process, but I'm praying comes to life in the next 6 months, is our residency program, meant to train the next generation for ministry and mission and to develop leaders for the years to come. To finish well, we need to see this happen. So we're about 3/4 of the way through the initiative. Giving has been strong, but to be honest, this year it's been a bit slow. And I realize that some of you, just like Lynn and I, will give a larger chunk at the end of this year, but I'm asking you to finish strong in our generosity, to let the vision be seen in our giving. If you made a pledge to the next initiative in March of last year, a bit more detailed update will be coming to you before the end of the year. And if you're fairly new to our next initiative, it's not too late to be part of it. If you have something to give, if you want the vision to be seen, you can go to calvarycwow.org/next for more information. I'll tell you, I so love being a part of a generous church that is willing to step out in faith to be part of God's move in Central PA. I so love being part of Calvary.